Well, India has sent an aircraft to start evacuating thousands of its nationals stranded in Ukraine. There are close to 20,000 Indians, mostly university students, in Ukraine. India, a traditional ally of Russia, last night abstained from a UN Security Council vote on a resolution deploring the Russian aggression. For more on this, I'm joined by our South Asia editor, Anbarasan, Ethirajan. Anbarasan, tell us a little bit more, first of all, about that abstention on the UN resolution. Does it seem to some as though India is trying to sit on the fence in all of this?
Now, India has always been a traditional ally of the erstwhile Soviet Union and then Russia for many decades. And it depends heavily on Russian armaments and defense supplies. And in fact, more than 50% of its weapon system, they are either of Russian origin or they depend on Russian spare parts. So India doesn't want to antagonize the Russian President Vladimir Putin at this time. And India's argument has been that the Western nations have refused to give any advanced weaponry. For example, Russia sold these S-400 missile systems to India, despite strong opposition from the US. And at the same time, India feels that with its ongoing border tensions with China, it is through Russia it is now negotiating or trying to convey the messages to Beijing. So for a lot of reasons, India feels that it has to be on the side of Russia at the moment. It has abstained, but it has not openly come out and then condemned what many people describe as aggression on Ukraine.
Given, though, that Narendra Modi has reached out very publicly to the West as well and looked to build relationships with the US, Britain and others, do you think that position, he will be able to sustain that position of not issuing an outright condemnation of what is going on in Ukraine?
Well, the current stance will not go down well with Western capitals in Washington or in the EU. You have to remember, US is the biggest trading partner of India with more than $100 billion trade, and the same with EU, one of the top trading partners. And in the last 20 years, India has also depended on US technology, US investments. And remember, there are millions of Indians have gone to the US and in Western Europe in the last 20, 30 years, making a living and sending money back home. So it is a very, very difficult position for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But there are people like some opposition MPs have been saying, you have to take a stand now because you have to be on the right side. At least you have to come out and then say what Russia is doing wrong. But not commenting anything on the aggression part of it is not going to go down well with the United States, because at any point in future, India wants to be part of this quad with Japan, Australia and US in the Indo-Pacific strategy, where they are building some sort of cooperation. And with the increasingly assertive China, it is countries like the US and the EU will have to stand with India if something happens in future. For example, if the Chinese forces, they want to capture some territory along the Himalayan region, then who will come for India's rescue? So that has been the question. And also, in the long term, how this will affect the India-US or India-EU trade ties. That's what many people are wondering.
Okay, Anbarasan, thank you very much for that assessment of the situation there. Anbarasan Ethirajan for us. Well, I'm joined now by